Oh, and I can actually get this device too. Much more helpful, this scout. Oh, what the... Oh, is it because of the... zero strength of the sun? Shrieking alarms and jagged light. You step from your train to find the floor rumbling. Machinery is crunching, lurching. A scream of tortured iron from below. Some engineers are rushing back and forth. Others stand in desperate huddles. One beelines to you as you disembark. "Leave while you can," he shouts. "The steward has gone mad. She's locked herself in some secret place below the vaults. She's doing impossible things to the sun." Flickering, rumbling, the sun dims, brightens, dims again. Oh, is she fucking a sun? Okay, I wish I could sell the fucking tea. I like how the only choice I have is just offer help. What if I don't want to? The deeper engines drive the machinery on the surface. You must access the steward's sanctum to stop her. Time runs short. The sun blazes. Leaderless engineers gather around you, shouting suggestions that are lost in the noise. Then they go silent as the machinery falls still. The sun impossibly brightens. Glass shatters above. The stained glass ceiling has broken and light floods in. One of the engineers rips off her boots to reveal a sparkling glass foot. Another sprouts a filth-crusted beard and claims with the haunted eyes that he was trapped for a week in a frozen moment. The time remaining before the sun almost certainly explodes, 4 hours. Okay. Why is it triggered by me going to the sun though? It fell to 0 before a bunch of times, but nothing happened. You need to access the steward's vault before all is lost. Prioritize fixing the ceiling. Send your crew to fetch a new pane of stained glass to fix it in place. It might buy you some time. I don't have stained glass, but... oh, great. A botched job. That was 80% chance. Working together, the engineers and your crew attempt to patch over the hole, but the light is still too much for them. A harness snaps and an engineer goes tumbling. He shatters spectacularly when he hits the ground. The rest are forced to clamber hastily down, their hazard suits ruptured. Fucking hell. Disassemble the locks, take an unpleasant alternative route. Am I dying here? Great, mining. I had a drill. Fuck. But I swap it to assay because there is nothing to drill in Albion. Why would you even be with a drill here? Well, the only chance I have with 50-50 with whales. Disable the lock. Wait, the sun flares, dims, pulsates, beams of light lands through the air. Your hazard suit is already flaking. You need to reach the vault before the steward kills you all. But the time is coming apart at the seams and you don't have much of it left. 2 hours. God damn it. Okay. She's sealed herself beneath an iron door as thick as the hull of a ship, but you are sure the locking mechanisms can be defeated somehow. A satisfying click. The engineers scoff and insists it can't be done. It's rather unsatisfying to fetch your tools from the train, spend a few minutes tinkering at the... rather satisfying. To tinker a few minutes tinkering at the foot of the door and yank it open. Their faces are mingled horror and relief. You hurry down the steps to confront the steward. Deep in the bowels of the sun, you find her working feverishly at a panel of levers and blinking buttons. The floor is heaped in complex tools. She doesn't even turn her head as you enter. Persuade her to stop this madness. 10% chance. Nope. Demand explanation. She removes her helmet, flashes a tired, broken glass smile. I'm not trying to destroy the sun, I'm trying to fix it, she says. For too long we've settled for just keeping it running while it deteriorates. A little more each time. Something had to change. If I had more time, I'd be careful, but I don't. I was taking risks, shortcuts, putting the sun under stress, pushing its limits, finding where its weakness. Why now? The Steward's Sanctum. When I visited the prisoners with you, I saw firsthand the torments the sun was visiting upon them. The steward sighs. I knew something had to be done. The sun knows it's dying. It slashes out, full of rage and spite. It's afraid. It had though thought itself immortal. So it actually was triggered by me rescuing a guy from a prison, I think. Maybe it has nothing to do with the strength of the sun, or maybe it's both. Offered to bring her hours, refused to help her. The question is, what's going to happen to me if you're not concerned with the well-being of the sun? She can do this on her own. Fuck. Well, the sun is a property of Her Majesty, but at the same time it's actually providing kind of a, I don't know, the importance of the sun in the life of everybody. Let's refuse. Defiant shrug. I never asked for your help, she says. The stress testing is complete in any case. The day-to-day operation of the sun can go back to normal for a while. She picks a tool from the floor and returns to her work. Why are you still here? Desperate measures. It still gave me a quest. Deliver 3 barrels of unseasoned hours to the broken steward on the Clockwork Sun. Why? I guess it doesn't matter, it's just a quest. More time, she must have more time. And it doesn't say that it has a timer too, so I can just... She said it's going to... For a while. A while can be anything. I don't think it's actually on the timer. Well, if I will have some hours, I guess I will bring it. Might be a reward. I thought it was an actual choice, but no. A partnership is forged, a hand settles on your shoulder. From here on out, the coffers of Azimuth are dedicated entirely to the betterment of mankind, says the sequencer breathlessly. Together we'll bring light to ever the darkest regions of Albion. I hope you'll join me in a hymn. Without waiting for your answer, he launches into a breathless hymn. You don't know the words, but do a credible job of mumbling along. Another charitable assignment. The dazzled sequencer explains you'll be delivering your care package to one of the slums of Woolbury-Juxtamare. It is apparently suffering an extreme deprivation of ravens. Soon enough, the people of Albion will look up at the sun in the sky and see a giver of warmth and life and kindness, something they can rely on, just like the old days. He flashes you his most sincere smile and bids you a good journey. Setting on the sun. He lacks his habitual joie de vivre. Oh, nothing. The sequencer avoids looking you in the eye. I just sometimes feel very small in the great scheme of things. The rumbling beneath your feet... Shalimar. Stumble upon a gleaming forest of glass sculptures. As you get closer, you realize they were once tourists from back when the exhibition was still open to the public. What were they clustered around? Pick your way through the glass congregation. Years of harsh sunlight have sharpened the statues, turning elbows and fingerprints to razors. You'll need to be agile to reach the other side unscathed. Vitrified tourists are arranged in a circle. Whatever lies at the center, it must be worth a good gawk. It's a nightmare in the bulky hazard suit, but you duck and weave through the statues. Just as you are about to reach the middle, you realize that a tourist's pointing finger has snagged on your suit's outer rigging. Attempts to extricate yourself seem to succeed only in widening the rip. Tear yourself free, shatter the tourist, give up and wriggle back the way you came. The flying glass might be perilous to your crew, but it will save you from ripping a hole in your suit. Shatter the tourist. The shattering causes an alarming chain reaction as tourist after tourist crumbles into a rain of shards, leaving half of your crew staggering and bloodied. When it's over, all that remains is a plinth in a circle of broken glass. A pink mask rests on the marble. When you frown, the mask's mouth turns up in a smile. Okay. Here you go. Gee. Seven crates of munitions. Oh, nice. For fuel. I could get it. I'll unload at Mausoleum a bit. Everything disappears, which is sucks. The things I found, like, change. What? Maybe it was Tale of Terror, not Terror. I haven't tried this new gun. Okay, I hope it would. I would be able to turn it without turning the ship, but no. But it still could be a fine weapon when enemy is too close. Windswept Habitation. Here's a tenement of empty housing that has never been occupied. It rests quietly beneath a blanket of dust. Something of value, rest and recover. Let's drop terror. Our mission right now is to explore. There's something there. Wreck of the boatman. Wait a second. Really. Approaching the boatman. A wreck drifts just ahead. Fierce winds rock it like an empty cradle. Its black and silver bulk gleams in your lights as you search for its nameplate. The boatman. Captain, the signalman wants your attention. That's a necropolis line. Engine brought the dead from Memoriam. His eyes widen. But it disappeared one eve. They said the dead woke and commanded the train. Nonsense, I'm sure. He doesn't look convinced. Prepare to board the boatman. Your signaler crosses himself. Drawing close, your pilot grazes the wreck's hull and has to reverse. Your navigator's hand slips while winching the locomotives close. What? Never mind. Navigator? Who's navigator? Princess? No, she's first officer. Quartermaster, this is signaler. Maybe it's not even an officer. Your navigator's hand slips while winching the locomotives close. A clang resounds throughout your engine. When you've finally docked, you select a few of your crew to join you. The outer door to the boatman is rimmed with frost. The boats shriek as they are pulled across. Inside, your torchlight reveals a narrow corridor in somber black, opening onto darker doorways, likely the crew cabins. There is a long moan from somewhere deeper in the engine. Probably the boilers, the stoker whispers, pressing forward through the cabins. You hear the rattle of something that might be chains. A bolt loose in the chassis? Your stoker suggests less confidently. The boatman is as dark and cold as the grave. Gas lights flicker on the walls. None on the walls? They still have gas in them? Been like lying here for ages, supposedly. Not substantial enough to illuminate more than the empty doorways ahead. A shattered window in the galley is responsible for the merciless cold. The source of the faint but insistent knocking is less clear. Okay, explore. No sign of life. Lights in hand, you wander the empty cabins and carriages. The floor of the boiler room is scarred with scorch marks. The captain's cabin is littered with pieces of furniture. There are bullets in the walls. There are no coffins aboard, but the hold is locked. A great groaning emanates from within. Hissing sound like that of an aggrieved cat comes from the galley. Well, let's start from cabins, I guess. The gaslights reveal only darkness, you can see nothing inside. Comfortable quarters. The crew cabins are charmless and cramped. Crew slept two to a cabin. In some cases, the division of space was ruthlessly enforced. Here a sheet has been pinned to the ceiling and floor, neatly huffing the room. Someone knocks thrice on the wall in the next cabin. All your crew are behind you. A hasty scramble for the door reveals the next room is locked and barred from outside. You order a burly stalker to bring down the door. Inside, the cabin is like the rest, empty. Empty, that is, aside from the skeleton laid out on the bed in a cassock, rather than the Necropolis line uniform. The chaplain? What's cassock?
Cassock.
Okay. Engine heat emanates from within. Still active? The air is as hot as and dry as the heart of a work world. The incinerator has been switched on. Something is burning inside. Peering in, you can make out the remains of a bundle of black and silver uniforms smoldering into ash. Gaslit gutters and dies, you are left in darkness. Gaslight. Abandoned. A carelessly opened cupboard expels an array of personal effects. Brass cufflinks, a conductor's whistle, pewter mugs embellished with the memento mori, brass polish for the cuffing fixtures, charts of the routes to Memoriam, the standard equipment of the Necropolis line staff. But where are the crew? Captain's cabin. At the end of this black-walled corridor, the captain was afforded some measure of privacy from her crew. Her? How do you know it's her? And also, why is it still something burning in engine room? Few home comforts. The room is Spartan. The bed looks uncomfortable. Someone has arranged her pillows. Unsurprising number of moldering stuffed toys beneath her sheets. In the semblance of a sleeping form. The only other furniture in the room is the barren writing desk with a journal and a pen abandoned upon it. You can hear whipping somewhere far away. Reach the hold. Need 15 Tales of Terror? Why? Guess let's read first. It must offer hints as to the goings-on. Something unnatural abides here. Ah, come on! 80%! Shh. Plunged into darkness. Also, how can you fail on reading? Your light gutters and dies. You hear footsteps nearby. Your crew? You stumble in the dark. A cold hand takes yours, climby like the bottom of a pond. Let me help you. Your light flares again. The pallid, bloated face smiles like an overripe peach splitting. Your navigator finds you sometime later. Why was your lamp out, Captain? Yay. The captain can read. Like me. Under time pressures. Reading the captain's log provides a few clues. 11th September 1903. Line manager insists we shave a day and a half from the round trip. Day and a half. Navigator plotted new course. 12th September 1903. Set to make memoriam in good time. 13th September 1903. Scout reports wefts of unraveled time on our bearing. Have instructed pilots to hold the course and our schedule. 1903. It's been here for 5 years. Where I left. 13th September 1903. Scout reports Western have instructed pilots to hold the course and our schedule. You haven't found a single coffin, and the hold is locked from the outside. The captain would have her keys with her, but you've not found her body. Either the captain felt the need to lock the hold before abandoning her engine, or she's inside. The door to the hold is secure against everything but your determination and crowbar. Oh, classic Citizen Freeman style. Okay, maybe they got into a time weft, and they actually haven't been lying here for 5 years, but maybe less. Behind the wreckage you find a row of coffins like blackened teeth. There is a sudden muffled bang. As if something is knocking on the underside of a lid. Oh. Prized opened. With the aid of a burly signaler, you raise the lids of the nearest. A piteous groan emerges as you do. The lid clatters to the ground, revealing the coffin's occupant, a living woman in the sliver-trimmed uniform of the Necropolis line. Her captain's rank insignia gleams. She is gagged. From what you can see of her face, the skin around her mouth is coated in something brown. It looks like dried food. Your crew sets to opening the other coffins. Similar discoveries are made. The captain struggles in her bonds and moans from behind her gag. Footsteps approach slowly, as though dragged. Your stalker shrieks. Figures appear at the hold door, mantled in shadow. Look at the figures. Who are they? What do they want? You raise your torch, illuminating the figures in the door. This provokes shrieks from your crew. Sallow-skinned, hollow-eyed, decaying corpses are blocking your escape. Bloody rib cages, broken skulls, exposed bone, and slowing flesh. Come on. Okay, we have some time left. Let's repeat that whole thing. Hate everything about you. Why do I play you? This really sucks. It was here somewhere. Also, I got terror relief from one of the graves. So close to the next level. It spawned again, that's good. Oh, fuck off. The boatman. What if it goes straight for Galley and nothing happens? I actually need to do it one by one. Yep. Partial success. Haven't found a single coffin and the hold is locked from the outside. The captain would have her keys with her, but you've not found her. What? It never crashed. Like so recently before the previous one. Oh boy. It honestly makes me just want to stop playing this crap. I really don't understand what's so... Why is it crashes? Even fucking Cyberpunk, with all its system requirements and stupid glitches, didn't crash so often. This game is basically just a reading novel with a little bit of riding on a train. It crashes so often. Force the door plunged through the corpse chutes. The door is made of lead and sealed as tight as Death's own dominion. Explosives will be required. Follow the progress of Albinian's dead. A riskier proposition for you, a safer one for your crew. I mean, I can't die, I can't be hurt. But it might give terror, and I have a lot of crew, so Tinder is lit, and for a few seconds the burning of the torch as it approaches the crates of explosives is the only light of the boatman. Then the wreck is rolled with the incandescent fire as the door and several coffins behind it are violently expelled from the engine. When the smoke clears, not everyone is intact. Okay. Your crew to opening the coffins under the captain struggles in her bonds and moans from behind her gag figures. You raise your torch, illuminating the figures in the door. This provokes shrieks from your crew. Sallow skin. I actually read a whole thing. Cadavers. Is the name of this undead type?
Cadavers.
Or just synonym for corpse? Reach for your weapon or prey. Walking corpses, they cannot mean well. What good are weapons against the walking dead? Separate the head. You reach for a pistol, the cadavers take a step back. Please! The nearest rasps a tall, tattered man in the stalker's uniform. I'm not sure these bodies could survive any more damage. In the eerie light of your torch, you can make out moldering corpses. They stand in the doorway, silent as a grave. Approach the corpses. They are key to whatever befell the boatman. The leader extends one bony hand, its limb shaking from the weight of yet unslowed flesh. Introduce yourself, pull off the ridiculous corpse mask. What? Enough of this farce. Walking corpses? Stage table looks? This theatrical display may fool lesser minds, but not you. I like this one actually. The leader lowers his rotting head. The flesh is still as meat left on the butcher's block overnight. Aha, you grab 2 handfuls and tear. Flesh slots away like moldering wallpaper, revealing polished bone white as snow. Are you done? The corpse says. He pauses while he as ascertains that you are not about to run away. Would you like a brandy? The deceased stalker sends another corpse to fetch brandy for your crew. The captain, he says mournfully, had a habit. What the brandy lacks in quality it makes up for in potency. Now, the stalker says, when the last of the glasses have been handed out, I think an explanation is required. Hear the deceased stalker out. Articulate for a dead man. I should apologize, he says. We've not had many visitors since the mutiny. Couldn't predict how you'd react. Driving you off with the haunting seemed safest. Almost had you, a decaying lady. Almost had you, a decaying lady cackles. The fruit in her hat has fused with the exposed parts of her cranium.
Cranium.
Another word for skull. The stalker clears his rumbling throat. While our bodies were being transported, the captain steered us through a carelessness in time. Things have gotten tangled, you see. As far as our minds are concerned, we haven't died, but our bodies beg to differ. Vociferously, I'm not going to even fucking translate that. The last thing I remember from when I was alive is saying farewell to my husband. Wait, this is still... Shit, fuck. This is... Stalker was a woman all along? Or... he was gay. I remember from when I was alive is saying farewell to my husband, then heading to the station. He looks down at the captain in her coffin. Wait. Huh? He's actually had a husband? She's getting agitated again. We've been very decent considering they tried to throw us into the incinerator at the moment we climbed out our boxes. Anyway, we thought we might face the same treatment elsewhere, so we set out into the wild. But here we are, stuck without fuel. We'd appreciate help. The boatman was the victim of an unfortunate accident. It is now crewed and captained by dead who were jolted awake by the collision with loose hours. The engine is out of fuel and supplies. Its living are trapped in coffins. Its dead are torn between returning to London and seeking a new home. Theirs is not an eternal rest, but rather an unhappy intermission. Speak with the happy dead. The deceased stalker leads a group of corpses eager to be off among the stars. A skeleton grin. The stalker adjusts his jaw to make his speech more intelligible. Damn little thing, really. Last thing I remember from life before this is wishing him goodbye. A sigh rattles through his skull. I wouldn't want him to see me like this. He gestures to the assemblage of cadavers behind him. It's the same for all of us. No idea what we'd go back to, or who, or if we'd even be allowed. Better to have fresh start. Speak with the unhappy dead. The beheaded chaperone speaks, rasps on her and on their behalf. Grievances in death. I had a nice tea in London. I had a nice tea shop in London. Opened it with my Bertie. We had word of a new strain coming in from Eleutheria. Last I know, I was on my way to the station to pick it up. She pauses to pluck a wax peach out from the fracture in her skull. Oh, this. She gestures to her skeletal form. Is just an inconvenience. Coming back is an opportunity, and one I'd be a fool to miss. And I'm not the one who feels this way. Speak with the living. The captain and crew are restrained in coffins. Their mouths are stained with the residue of cornered beef which the dead have been feeding them. Desperation. The moment you remove the gag from the captain's mouth, she bursts into speech. Get us out of here! They closed the coffin's lids on us. I cannot bear another second. She pauses to regain a degree of self-control. I know we were a bit hasty popping them into incinerator, but it was horrible. Coffins busting open, shrieking bodies wondering where their tea was or why they couldn't see. She shudders. But please, this is a nightmare. Arrange to take the living home. We'd appreciate having our coffins back, the deceased stalker says. A happy solution. You haul the captain out of her coffin, the dead keep their distance, perhaps sensing their help is unlikely to be appreciated. Bloody savior, you are? The captain whispers. Come on, lads, all aboard the captain's train. We'll sort out what we're going to say to the line manager on the way back. The crew of the boatmen leave their train for yours. Your quartermaster can arrange the details of their crossing and provisioning. Quiet leaving. You are escorting the crew of boatmen to the Most Serene Mausoleum. Oh, great, I'm heading there. The crew is anxious to return to the Most Serene Mausoleum, if only to get it over with. Arrange to take the grumbling dead back to London. I mean, they are not consuming any of my supplies, right? They're just like they don't even take up hold. Is there any reason not to just get the dead too? Arrange to take the grumbling dead back to London. Uh, I mean, why not? Undead? London? The heart of the Empire? The beheaded chaperone is making pointed remarks about the contents of the deceased stalker's skull. The happy dead won't leave until they have the engine to themselves. Eagerly accepted. The chaperone gasps. Would you? You would? Oh, I can smell my old tea shop already. Her voice gives out, but she conveys her feelings via a sudden crashing embrace. Bones crack before she releases you, fortunately only hers. Your quartermaster can arrange the details of their trip back. Your quartermaster's expression suggests that they did not appreciate the reminder that the new passengers won't require supplies. Oh yeah. They are escorting the boatsmen passengers home to London. The grumbling dead have boarded your locomotive. Some of them stayed? Okay. The same. Return to your locomotive. You have done all you can here. It is time to get back underway. Cheerful parting. The stalker waves. Your visit was well timed. We were running out of corned beef. Without our guests, we can burn the spare coffins, but they'll get us far enough to refuel. Return to London and the mausoleum for your rewards. Whoa, Ripple. I'm already at 41 terror. Well, let's do it, I guess. I have to still remain. Perhaps if you tolerate this current hunger or hide from it or pray it will pass. It's a charge or not? Broke again. Okay, I guess I fixed it. Whoa! 3P. Okay, let's go to Royal Society while it didn't crash. Wreck of the boatman. Well, nothing really that interesting happened, to be honest. It was a really straightforward quest, just gather up the dead, gather up the living, deposit them to one to mausoleum, one to London, and that's it. A lot of raiding for unsatisfying end. Alright, I'll take a break now. I'm going to eat. So, see you around. What the fuck was that? Somebody screamed? Okay, see you.